At the very southern tip of Africa, two mighty forces of nature meet: the cold Atlantic Ocean and the warm Indian Ocean. At Cape Agulhas, ocean currents clash, and waves crash together in an endless dance, drawing wavy lines on the water's surface and creating a sight unlike anywhere else in the world. Here, the sea changes colours between deep blue and turquoise green, and white foam forms at the boundary between the two oceans, a scene that shows off nature's power and raw beauty. This meeting of the oceans creates a rich and complex underwater world where temperatures and currents change suddenly. Thick fog forms over the cliffs and winds tangle with waves, reshaping the shore every day. Deep in the water, thick kelp forests stretch out, swaying with the changing currents, providing a safe home for hundreds of kinds of fish and sea creatures. Above the surface, coastal fog wraps around the rocky cliffs and salt spray gleams in the morning light, while seabirds fly over the crashing waves. This special spot creates amazing biodiversity, where dry deserts sit next to thick forests and tall mountains turn into open savannah plains. Every landscape here has its own special weather, supporting life found only in this part of the world. From the misty peaks of the Drakensberg Mountains to the golden plains crossed by winding rivers, the landscapes change dramatically, creating a mix of natural homes that hold thousands of species. Every natural home here is like a complex web of connections, where the lives of birds mix with mammals and reptiles, and food chains are tangled in a delicate balance. Migratory birds find a safe haven in the salty wetlands, where flocks of flamingos gather in the shallow waters, and the sounds of frogs croak among the reeds. In the plains, antelopes graze carefully at the edge of forests, while predators watch them from among the thick trees. And in the sky, flocks of starlings swirl in moving patterns as the sun sets. The different landscapes and changing weather create countless homes, from the mountain fynbos forests to the dry Karoo deserts. Here, animals live that are found nowhere else, having changed to fit harsh and unique conditions. Rare fynbos flowers bloom after rain, small reptiles thrive among the colourful leaves, while sunbirds drink nectar from bright blossoms. In the desert, tough plants survive the dryness. Meerkats watch their surroundings from burrow entrances, and tortoises slowly move over hot rocks. In this natural theatre, the drama of survival plays out every day. Lions stalk their prey at sunset, elephants cross rivers at dawn, and cheetahs sprint at lightning speed across the long grass. Herds of wildebeest stampede through the dust, and crocodiles hide under the water's surface, waiting for the right moment. As night falls, night creatures become active. Bush babies leap between branches, owls glide silently over the moonlit plains, and fireflies flicker in the dark. Every moment here tells a story of nature's power and its delicate balance, highlighting the environmental importance of this unique place where two oceans meet and life intertwines in its most complex forms, in a world untouched by human feet where the wild remains in charge. At the very southern tip of the continent, the Cape Floristic region stretches out like a living painting, where thousands of plant species come together in a unique mosaic. Here, rare flowers bloom on sandy soil, and small shrubs spread out in harmony with the salty winds from the ocean. Each plant carries the mark of a changing climate, from cold fog to hot summer sun, adapting to dry seasons and strong winds, creating a unique ecosystem found nowhere else on Earth. In this coastal corner, flower petals dance under the sun's rays, and dewdrops sparkle on plant leaves at dawn, while wisps of fog creep between the branches, giving the place an aura of mystery and beauty. 70% of these plants grow only here, thriving in small pockets of moisture or on bare rocks. Their roots dig deep for water, and their leaves intertwine to resist the wind, while the flowers burst with bright colours that attract wild pollinators in a constant dance between life and climate. Shapes and colours vary between tiny flowers that bloom in the early morning and huge ones adorned with intertwined lines and colours. Silver-leaved shrubs reflect sunlight and store moisture deep within them. In this place, plants compete for light and water, adapting to poor soil, creating a natural masterpiece that is one of a kind. Fynbos, this unique plant cover, renews itself after fires, bringing new life with each season. Among the shrubs, the Cape sugarbird flies, collecting nectar and spreading pollen, maintaining the cycle of life in this delicate system. Here, plants live with fire, thrive in poor soil, and the land turns into a sea of colours with every rainfall. Butterflies dance among the flowers, small insects move between the branches, while bird songs fill the air in a never-ending natural symphony. With each season, colours and scents change, a new plant species appear, and an endless cycle of renewal and growth. Moving inland, the scenery slowly changes to the dry plains of the Karoo, where the land stretches endlessly under a clear blue sky. Here animals adapt to the harsh dryness, and meerkats appear like little guards, watching the horizon and living in deep burrows to escape the heat of the day. In this place, small reptiles and mammals live alongside thorny bushes, adapting to scarce water and changing temperatures between night and day. Lizards slither between hot rocks, snakes hide in the shadows, while rodents come out at night looking for seeds. In the distance, low mountains covered with thorny plants appear, and dry grasses that stand strong against the harsh winds are scattered about. Every creature here holds the secrets of survival in a harsh environment. And with every step towards the northeast, the land turns into the vast savannah of Kruger National Park. Here, golden grasses dance under a warm breeze, and huge herds of antelopes and elephants move quietly, while lions lurk in the shadows. After fires or rainfall, the land comes alive again, and a new cycle begins between predators and prey, in a delicate balance controlled by the seasons. Birds of prey gather on tall trees, and vultures move between air currents, while the sounds of hyenas and wild dogs fill the air at night. In this vast expanse, the scenery changes with the light, and the plains turn into golden paintings at sunset and are covered in fog in the early morning. Every animal here plays a role in the web of life, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. Along the garden route, the atmosphere suddenly changes to dense forests where ancient trees intertwine and are covered in moss. In this constant shade, cool streams flow, and colourful birds like the turako hide among the branches, while the leopard moves lightly through the dense trees hidden in the silence of the forest. Here, moisture meets warmth, and rare species of birds and mammals thrive in a safe haven away from prying eyes. Ferns hang from branches, and fungi cover tree trunks, while monkeys climb among the high branches. In this green world, bird songs echo through the trees, and sunlight reflects on water droplets falling from the leaves, in a magical scene that never ends. Between these scenes, nature in South Africa ranges from deserts to forests, and from plains to mountains, in subtle transitions that only those who look closely can feel. Each habitat is its own world, and every living thing plays a role in the complex web of life. This patchwork of environments makes South Africa a paradise for wildlife, where stories overlap and threads intertwine, telling a tale of nature's evolution over thousands of years, in a magical scene where the greatness of biodiversity shines and the cycle of life continues non-stop from the first ray of sun to the last whisper of night. In the heart of South Africa, Kruger National Park stretches across almost 2 million acres. It's a huge safe place for the big animals that roam the plains, forests and rivers. Here, wildlife lives together in a mix of natural homes. Open grasslands meet thick bushes and winding riverbanks, giving every animal its perfect place to live. Huge elephant herds move every day between water sources. The older female elephants lead them, knowing the safe paths across the plains. The elephants stop at waterholes, dipping their big bodies in. They use their long trunks to spray water on their backs and talk to each other with low sounds that only their herd members can hear. Elephants show their strength by pulling branches and roots from the ground. They teach their young how to find food by watching and copying them. The young ones play around the big elephant's feet, learning how to use their trunks for play and finding food while the herd protects them. Rhinos, both the white ones that like open grasslands and the black ones that wander through thick bushes, use their strong sense of smell to find fresh grass or leafy shrubs. They move quietly, always watching their surroundings, and stay alert for any movement that might mean a predator is near. Hippos spend the day in the cool water, dipping their big bodies to stay safe from the sun's heat, and floating calmly in the river currents. On the banks, huge herds of buffalo gather, eating the rich grass. They keep their young in the middle of the group as their large numbers protect them from predators. Lions watch from the shade under acacia trees, following the movement of the herds and waiting for the right moment to pounce. Leopards, with their quickness and speed, sneak through the tall grass. They rely on hiding and surprise to hunt, carefully choosing their prey from smaller or weaker animals. Giraffes, with their long necks, eat from the tops of trees that other animals can't reach. They move side by side with zebras and wildebeest in mixed herds. These big herds create a network of eyes and ears, protecting them from predators and making it more likely for each animal to survive. In this thriving ecosystem, different animals interact in a complex web of relationships. Every animal, from the biggest mammals to the smallest, plays a key part in keeping life balanced, whether by grazing, pollinating, or even competing for resources. In the dry season, the big animals show how clever they are at living in tough conditions. Elephants dig in dry riverbeds to find water stored under the sand, while rhinos roll in the mud to protect their skin from insects and the sun. Buffaloes fight in strong battles to show their place in the herd. The family bonds among these animals are strong and firm. Mothers lead the groups, protecting their young and teaching them how to survive in the harsh wild. Group defense, working together, and sharing sounds and sights are all ways to keep life going in this great, safe place. As the sun sets, the herds return to safe places among the trees or near rivers, getting ready for a new night in the heart of the wild. Here the cycle of life continues without stopping, in endless harmony between the big animals and the nature that holds them. The Big Five, the lion. The lion, king of the savannah, lives in complex social groups made up of females, cubs, and a few adult males. Every day lions spend long hours resting in the shade of trees or in the grass, saving their energy for hunting. Hunting often happens at night or at dawn, and lions rely on teamwork and planning, with females spreading out in precise formations to surround their prey. After a hunt, lions share their food, and they show strong social bonds through playing and grooming each other. Their control over their territory depends on loud roars and constant defense against rival lions or hyenas. The leopard, master of stealth, lives a lonely and quiet life in the thick bush. The leopard spends most of its day up in tree branches, quietly watching its surroundings and protecting its prey from other animals. When night comes, the leopard comes down to the ground and moves quickly and lightly, relying on surprise and a fast pounce to catch deer or monkeys. After a hunt, it carries its prey up a tree to eat it safely away from hyenas or lions. The leopard uses trees as a safe haven and a place to rest, and it relies on its strong sense of hearing and sight to stay out of danger. The elephant, the largest land animal, lives in close-knit family groups led by an older female. Elephants spend their day looking for water and food, and they eat trees and bushes, which changes the shape of the environment and opens new paths for other animals. Elephants talk to each other with low sounds that humans can't hear, and they use their trunks to drink, eat, and even play with their young. In the dry season, elephants lead the herd long distances to find water, sometimes digging in the ground to reach underground water, which helps other animals survive. The Cape buffalo, a strong and scary animal, lives in huge herds that protect it. The buffalo's day starts with grazing in the plains, and the herd moves together looking for fresh grass. When danger is near, the buffalo gather in a circle, and the adults form a defensive wall to protect the young. Buffalo are known for their bravery, and many predators avoid attacking them because of their strength and aggression. Their strong horns are used for self-defense and in fights between males for control of the herd. The black rhinoceros, a lonely animal, spends most of its time roaming through thick bushes. It uses its hooked lip to pull off leaves and branches, and it leaves marks on trees to mark its territory. The rhino is very sensitive to sounds and smells, and it moves carefully in its environment. Even though it's big, it moves fast when it senses danger, and it uses its horn to defend itself against predators or rivals of the same kind. Its daily life is quiet, and it prefers to be alone, except during mating season or when raising its young. Each of the big five has a special role in the ecosystem. Lions control prey numbers, leopards keep small animal populations balanced, elephants change the environment and provide water sources, buffalo keep the grass healthy by grazing, and rhinos help plants grow back. Their daily lives are full of challenges for survival, from finding food and water to defending themselves and adapting to changes in nature. Their presence together creates a delicate balance in the savannah. And if any one of them disappears, it affects all other creatures in the wild. Far from the big five, South Africa's wildlife relies on a complex web of creatures that play key roles in keeping nature balanced. It's not just lions and elephants who are the stars. There are other creatures that work quietly and help life keep going. Every species, no matter how small or unknown, has a specific job in the ecosystem. African wild dogs, effective hunters in packs, are among the most endangered carnivores on the continent. They rely on teamwork and group planning when hunting, which makes them some of the most successful predators in the wild, despite the challenges they face. Beside them, the serval cat is known for its quick reactions and ability to hunt rodents and birds, which helps control the numbers of small prey. Meerkats in the Karoo aerate the soil and thrive through teamwork and alertness. Each member of the group has a specific role, whether guarding or looking for food, making them a great example of social cooperation in nature. Ground squirrels also play an important role in aerating the soil and spreading seeds, and their burrows provide shelter for other creatures. White-backed vultures, nature's cleanup crew, prevent diseases by quickly eating carcasses. Their presence is vital for keeping the ecosystem healthy as they clear the environment of remains that could spread infection. Beside them, the hooded vulture helps clean areas that larger vultures can't reach. The Cape sugarbird pollinates the unique protea plants in the area, ensuring these floral treasures survive. Without it, entire plant species that depend on it for reproduction could disappear. The malachite sunbird helps pollinate aloe plants, which supports plant diversity in the plains. Even insects have an important role, like dung beetles, that recycle organic matter and fertilize the soil. Every species, from the digging meerkats to the scavenging vultures, plays a vital role in the ecosystem. The interactions between these creatures create a complex web of relationships that support life in the wild. Losing any of these creatures, even the smallest and least known, could lead to ripple effects throughout the entire web of life and threaten the stability of the whole ecosystem. The disappearance of a burrow or the death of a flower could change the fate of many species. The story of South Africa is a story of connection and teamwork, where every creature, no matter how small or large, has an important role in keeping the wheel of life turning. From the smallest insects to the largest predators, everyone is part of the web of life that makes the wilderness vibrant. The wildlife in South Africa faces many complex threats. Some are natural and some show up as the environment changes. Natural predators like lions, cheetahs, and hyenas are always a danger to their prey. This creates a delicate balance in the ecosystem. Lions work together in groups to hunt, while cheetahs use their speed and surprise attacks. Hyenas are always looking for chances and fight over dead animals. Crocodiles wait patiently by the water. Environmental changes, like droughts and not enough water, affect where animals can find food and shelter. This forces animals to travel further to find what they need. Elephants suffer when water sources shrink, and giraffes look for rare leaves on the few trees. Antelopes eat dry grass, while zebras move across the dry plains. When different animal types compete for limited resources, it makes survival harder. Sometimes this leads to direct fights or a decrease in the numbers of certain species. Large herds of wildebeest and zebras compete for grazing land. Elephants push away smaller animals at water sources. Buffalo herds crowd out antelopes, while giraffes and rhinos eat from the same acacia tree. Natural disasters like wildfires and droughts mess up ecosystems. They force animals to adapt quickly or face the danger of dying out. Wildfires destroy large parts of the savannah, and animals run from the smoke. Dry riverbeds show scattered wildlife, while vultures circle over plains hit by drought. Diseases spread easily among animal groups. They can weaken even the strongest predators and prey, affecting the entire balance of nature. Sick antelopes get separated from their herd. Weakened lions struggle to hunt. Buffalo show signs of illness, and young animals give in to sickness. All these threats are connected. They require animals to constantly adapt to a changing and difficult reality. Elephants walk in the savannah at sunset, looking for safety and resources in an environment full of challenges. The future of South African wildlife hangs between natural challenges and their ability to adapt and survive. The sunrise over the savannah, the silhouettes of endangered animals at dusk, and young wildlife in reserves all show an uncertain future for African animals. Every creature in the savannah has a special role that can't be replaced. Elephants, for example, pull up trees and open up big spaces. This doesn't just let new plants grow, but it also creates different homes for hundreds of kinds of insects, reptiles, and small mammals. When elephants move across the land, they spread seeds everywhere. This helps plants grow back and lets plants that need elephants to reproduce spread out. Lions are like the top hunters, and they keep the number of plant eaters, like zebras and gazelles, in check. If lions were gone, the number of prey animals would get too big. This would lead to too much grazing, which would eat up plants quickly and leave the land bare and open to erosion. Over time, the plant cover would disappear and the food chain would start to fall apart from top to bottom. Rhinos keep the open grasslands healthy by eating thick grasses. If they disappeared, the land would slowly turn into bushy areas. Plants that need sunlight would disappear and new kinds of plants would show up, changing the whole look of the ecosystem. Animals that need open grasslands would lose their homes and would have to move or face the danger of dying out. Losing important animals like elephants or rhinos starts a chain of environmental changes. Plants that needed elephants to spread their seeds would slowly disappear, and animals that live in open spaces would lose their safe places. When these animals disappear, other kinds start to grow too much, which leads to big changes in how the animal community is built. Animals that depend on different plants and water are directly affected. As plant cover goes down, there's less food and water, and the number of animals starts to drop. Birds that need trees or bushes to build their nests lose their spots, and insects that live in the soil or on plants are affected. This then affects the tiny living things that recycle organic stuff in the ground. Vultures play a super important role in the food chain. They eat dead animals and stop dead bodies from piling up and diseases from spreading. If vultures were gone, dead bodies would pile up in the savannah. This would create a good place for germs and parasites to spread, and it would put the health of other animals that share the same environment in danger. When just one kind of animal disappears, a chain of bad things starts. Plants change, animals move away or die out, hunters lose their prey, and prey lose their balance. The landscape itself slowly changes from a lively place to a dry, empty one. Every creature in the savannah is connected to each other in a complex food web. Hunters, prey, decomposers, and even plants, they all form connected links. Losing any link creates empty spaces that spread in all directions, and this makes the ecosystem weaker at handling changes or natural disasters. Plants wilt and can't grow. The soil gets dry and loses its richness, and animal burrows fall apart as their residents disappear. Insects that depend on plants or soil disappear, and this affects the birds and reptiles that eat them. In the end, the savannah loses its heartbeat and changes from a place full of life and variety to a heavy silence and deadly stillness. All of this is because just one kind of animal was lost, but its impact continues at all levels of the food chain, changing the face of the environment forever. In the heart of South Africa's plains, nature itself starts a journey of healing. It shows amazing ways it can keep things balanced without any help from people. With each new sunrise, the land slowly gets healthy again. Wild grasses grow after the rainy season, covering dry areas. Wildflowers bloom in bright colors, bringing in butterflies and bees. This starts the process of pollination, which makes sure plant life keeps going and stays diverse. Every creature, big or small, plays its part in this full circle where life renews with every raindrop and every ray of sunshine. Animals are like engineers of the ecosystem. Elephants, with their natural smarts, dig in dry ground for water. They make new ponds that help everyone, from the smallest bugs to the biggest mammals. Herds of zebras and wildebeest are always moving across the plains. Their hooves help the grasslands grow back and stop dry plants from piling up, which could cause fires. These group movements create a mix of natural homes, giving different kinds of plants a chance to grow. Vultures and other scavengers act like health guards for the plains. They quickly eat dead animals, stopping diseases from spreading that could hurt other animals. Even small bugs, like dung beetles, bury waste in the soil. This makes the soil richer and recycles nutrients, creating a perfect place for new plants to grow. All these creatures, no matter how small, help keep the ecosystem healthy and going. After natural fires, nature's power to renew itself really shows. Trees like acacia grow green shoots from their burned trunks, bringing life back to burned forests. Birds quickly come back to build their nests in the new branches, using the many bugs and seeds that appear after the fire. This ability to bounce back quickly makes sure there's still a lot of different life. And it gives hope that life can return even after the toughest times. Predators play a key role in keeping animal numbers balanced. Lions and cheetahs carefully watch their prey, picking out the weaker or sick ones. This helps make the animal group stronger and stops diseases from spreading. On the other hand, prey animals like antelopes have learned new ways to survive. They move in tight groups, stay alert, and learn from their experiences with predators. This constant back and forth makes the ecosystem strong and pushes creatures to keep changing. Seeds travel by wind or stick to animal fur, reaching new places to grow there and create many different homes. When the rains return, seasonal ponds appear, and frogs and insects come back to life, filling the air with their sounds and starting a new life cycle. These natural processes make sure that habitats are renewed and that there are many different living things every season. Rivers start flowing again after dry spells, bringing life back to areas that were still. Fish and water creatures quickly return to their homes, and the cycle of life in the water starts again. Migratory birds who have flown thousands of miles find a safe place to rest and have babies in the renewed wetlands. They also help carry seeds and tiny living things between different places. The ways living things help each other make the ecosystem strong and super flexible. Ants take care of aphids and use what they produce, while plants give shelter and food to bugs and birds. Tough plants grow back in bare areas, holding the soil with their roots, stopping erosion, and making a good place for new kinds of plants to grow. Every connection, no matter how simple it seems, helps build a complex and strong web of life. Nature itself is leading a new age of healing, proving that wildlife can bounce back with amazing strength and flexibility. Every creature, from the smallest bug to the biggest mammal, plays a vital role in this complete system and helps keep life balanced. Hope in South Africa beats in every living thing, every life cycle, and every moment of renewal. Nature alone is the first guardian, and its story is a true story of survival, where the greatest examples of adapting and being strong in the face of challenges are seen, and life continues with a strength that knows no despair. The story of South African wildlife is writing its next chapters with new hope. The natural world is getting back in balance and life is blooming again. As the land gets better, animal groups are going back to their old travel paths. Elephants walk across the plains, antelopes move with the seasons, and birds fill the sky. The circle of life is starting fresh. Animals follow where the water and food are, and nature gets back its old rhythm. It's a careful balance between hunters and their prey. In this future, animals that were in danger are getting better, and their numbers are going up. The plains are getting back their old sounds of lions roaring and zebras neighing. There's a lot of different kinds of life, and they all work together in a big, complex web. Each living thing needs the others in a never-ending cycle of giving and balance. Day and night bring new stories. Life keeps flowing, and the wonders of South Africa's wild show how strong nature is and how it can always start over. The future promises that this land will keep holding life, and its plains, forests, and valleys will stay a safe place for hope, different kinds of life and beauty. In South Africa, wildlife is a sign of how strong life can be. It shows that nature can always rise again if it gets the chance. In this bright future, the plains see new life being born. Animals are born and grow up in a safe place, and the circle of life keeps going on and on. The big migrations are back to being amazing. Animals travel long distances looking for water and food, and they keep going on their endless trips across the plains and valleys. In this careful balance, the circle of life keeps going. Each living thing needs the others in a complex web of connections, making sure life keeps going in its natural harmony. Nature keeps amazing us with how it always starts over. Different kinds of life work together in a wonderful way, and life keeps flowing without stopping, bringing with it a promise of a bright future full of hope. As the sun goes down and the last golden rays fade from the savannah, wildlife begins to change in an amazing way. The warm colours disappear and darkness slowly takes over, showing a new world full of hidden action. A new world wakes up, a world ruled by shadows and quiet, where every move is planned and every sound means something. In the cool darkness, South Africa's night predators appear, and their super senses start working in an amazing way. Their senses get ready for hunting. Their eyes catch the smallest movement, and their ears pick up the softest whisper in the wind. Leopards covered in spotted patterns move quietly through the bushes, their bodies flexible and muscles tight, every step carefully planned. Their eyesight, which is 6 times better in low light than daytime animals, easily sees through the darkness. They watch their prey from far away, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. Patience is key to success in the night world. Leopards use the cover of night to their advantage, blending into the shadows and becoming almost invisible, which gives them a huge advantage in hunting. Nearby, the shy aardwolf sneaks through the tall grass, its steps so light they can barely be heard, looking for its favorite meal of termites. Its big ears are always moving, picking up the smallest rustle or shake in the ground, because every sound could mean a good meal or danger coming closer. Hyenas, who are often misunderstood, are masters of surviving at night. They work together in almost complete silence, moving as one group, following hidden signals that only their pack understands. They talk with hidden looks and low calls, sharing information about prey or danger nearby. And when it's time to attack, they overpower their prey with group strength and organized tactics, making sure they survive in a tough world. Up above, Owls fly in complete silence, their wings quiet as a whisper, making no sound as they fly. They hunt rodents that scurry under the moon, relying on their sharp hearing that lets them find prey with amazing accuracy even in total darkness. Even the smallest predators, civets and otters, come out of their hiding spots when night falls. They wander along old animal trails looking for food or exploring new areas, taking advantage of the quiet and calm of the night, and their eyes glow with reflected starlight, giving them amazing night vision. The night is full of careful talks and quiet competitions, where the paths of predators cross with each other and with other night creatures. Bats flutter above, lemurs move through the trees, and porcupines wander carefully, each looking for their chance to survive. Every creature plays a part in the complex dance of survival, where interests mix and fates get tangled. In this hidden world, advanced senses and unique ways of adapting are the secret to staying alive. Soft paw pads allow for quiet movement, sharp hearing picks up the smallest sound, and glowing eyes watch everything. Whiskers feel the slightest movement in the air or on the ground, giving their owners an extra edge in the dark. Darkness is not a barrier but a canvas where the secrets of the wild are revealed, and the abilities of night creatures shine brightest. Here in the heart of South Africa, the battle for survival is seen at its best. The story of the night belongs to those who move in silence, thriving in a world where only the smartest and most adaptable survive. In this darkness the genius of survival shines, and wildlife continues to write its hidden chapters under the cover of night. Under the tall grasses, where light barely touches the ground, tiny worlds start to appear. Each one is full of life, hidden and quiet. Among tangled roots, ant tunnels crisscross and swarms of insects move on tiny paths. They form a busy city that you only see if you look closely. Here in the hidden insect kingdom, life comes in endless forms, from small worms wiggling in the dirt to ant colonies building their homes underground. The grasslands of South Africa are buzzing with tiny wings and little feet scurrying around. Grasshoppers jump through the grass, beetles climb up stems, and spiders spin their webs between branches. Every creature, no matter how small, plays a key part in the complex web of life. Day and night, bees and butterflies move from flower to flower, their delicate bodies covered in golden pollen. With every trip, they help plants make seeds, connecting generations of flowers and making sure plant life keeps going in the savannah, fynbos, and forests. With each visit, they weave invisible threads between flowers, carrying life from one plant to another. This creates a careful balance between plant types, which helps the plants grow back and stay diverse. Beetles, with their shiny, rainbow-coloured shells, dig in the ground and make their way through fallen leaves and rotting wood. Some eat fungi, while others break down dead stuff, putting nutrients back into the soil, feeding the roots above them. On the forest floor, ant armies march in neat lines, carrying bits of food. They build complex tunnels that air out the ground and let water and air pass through. Their colonies form networks under the surface, connecting large areas and affecting how organic matter is spread. Termites, the quiet engineers, build tall mounds that rise from the grasslands like tiny castles. Inside these mounds, complex communities live, recycling dead plant material, helping to air out the soil and shaping the landscape itself. But this tiny world isn't without dangers. In the shadows, small insects hide from their predators, using camouflage and speed to stay alive. Praying mantises wait in ambush, hidden among the leaves, while spiders spin complex webs to catch those who aren't paying attention. Every predator relies on cleverness and precision in this tiny theatre. Dragonflies fly over waterholes, their wings shining like stained glass, chasing flying insects at lightning speed. Each hunt helps control the number of other insects, keeping the ecosystem balanced. For many insects aren't just workers, they're food. Lizards, frogs, and small birds rely on the large number of these tiny creatures to meet their food needs. Birds pick insects from the grass, reptiles stalk them among the rocks, and small mammals search the soil for worms and larvae. Every species depends on the abundance of these small creatures to survive. When it rains, swarms of flying termites come out, attracting aardwolves, frogs, and pangolins. Every creature benefits from this seasonal event, taking part in the renewing cycle of life. In the quiet spaces under tree logs and inside flower petals, butterfly larvae live, small beetles hide, and spiders build their nests. Here a story of strength and connection unfolds, where every creature relies on another in an endless cycle. Every flap of a wing, every crawl of an ant, and every buzz of a bee is a thread in the fabric of the wild. These small movements create waves of effects, keeping life balanced and helping it continue. In South Africa's hidden kingdom, the smallest creatures are the quiet engineers, the pollinators, and the providers. In every corner of the savannah, fynbos, and forests, these creatures make sure that the wild not only survives but thrives and stays diverse, and that life continues in its smallest details. As dawn breaks, golden light fills the plains of South Africa, and a symphony of life on wings begins. In this magical scene, the sounds of birds rise, announcing the start of a new day in the wild. More than 800 kinds of birds share this land, from tiny colourful birds to huge birds of prey. Each kind adds a special note to nature's song. The tiny sunbird, with its bright colours, flutters gently among the cactus flowers, sipping nectar and making soft chirps that echo in the air. Up high, the African fish eagle soars with its wide wings over winding rivers, letting out its special cry that fills the sky and shows it's in charge of the waters. The air itself seems woven with bird songs as sounds mix together in a never-ending musical fabric. The Cape robin chat greets the morning with its sweet song, its voice flowing through the bushes and waking up life in the wilderness. In the thick fynbos forests and open savannas, you can hear the sounds of weaver birds, nature's tireless builders. They weave grass and reeds into fancy nests that hang from acacia branches, swaying with the breeze and giving a safe home to their young. Each nest is the result of constant hard work, a sign of how they keep trying and how clever they are, and a cradle for the next generations. In the salt flats, thousands of flamingos gather, colouring the ground pink and moving together in an amazing dance. Their movements, all at the same time, paint a living picture on the shiny water, each flap of a wing part of a picture that's always changing. High in the trees, the Knisna Turako shines with its bright colours, quietly eating wild fruit, silent among the thick leaves. And on the forest floor, huge ground hornbills wander among the fallen leaves, looking for bugs and small reptiles, making deep sounds that echo all around. As the seasons change, the sky turns into a highway for travellers. Huge groups of birds fly long distances, following the winds and air currents. Swallows and swifts arrive in swirling groups, filling the sky with their fast movements and sharp sounds. Their wings never stop, chasing bugs in the air and moving without rest from one continent to another, chasing summer around the world. The arrival of these migrating birds brings new energy to the wetlands and meadows, and they mix with the birds that live there, creating a scene of variety and new beginnings. Their presence is tied to the cycles of rain and growth, and every journey promises a new season of life. Every bird here is a singer and a guardian, its voice marking its territory and announcing its presence in this big world. As night falls, the African wood owl hoots with its deep calls, watching the shadows and announcing the start of a new night world. In the thick reeds, the secret fluff-tail bird slips by, hardly seen but present in every part of the wetlands, keeping the ecosystem balanced. The birds here are not just pretty to look at, they are a key part of the life cycle, helping to pollinate plants, spread seeds, and control bugs. In the sky, eagles soar on warm air currents, watching the ground with sharp eyes, looking for any sign of life or death. Eagles and birds of prey make sure the ecosystem stays balanced, cleaning up dead animals and stopping diseases from spreading. Every meal these birds eat means the life cycle continues. and the land is cleaned of remains. From the open grasslands to the tangled forests and dramatic coastlines, birds adapt to every environment, finding a home in every corner of South Africa. Their songs connect dawn to dusk, filling the time in between with life and movement. Their journeys connect far-off landscapes, bringing different environments together in one big web of life. In their feathers, their sounds, and their journeys, birds tell the story of a lively land, a story that never ends and keeps playing its symphony through the generations. The land breathes with the changing seasons, the wheel of time keeps turning, shaping every bit of South Africa's wild lands. Each season brings its own challenges and promises, making creatures adapt in amazing ways to survive. With every sunrise and sunset, the sun writes a new chapter in the sky. It leaves its marks on the ground, pushing animals to change their lives to fit the rhythm of light and shadow. In summer, the rains pour down and the bushveld turns into a lively green carpet. Grass grows fast, covering the plains with a thick layer of food. Plant-eating animals like wildebeest and zebras gather in huge numbers, enjoying all the food. The tall grass gives shelter and food, making it a perfect place for babies to be born. Births happen when there's lots of food. Females have their calves and foals safely with the herd, and the little ones take their first steps in the green grass. When many babies are born at the same time, it confuses predators and gives the young ones a better chance to survive. The calves and foals quickly learn and get strong and fast enough to keep up with the herd on their long journeys. As it gets warmer, insect activity goes way up, turning the plains into a never-ending hunting ground. Chameleons and frogs hide in the grass, taking advantage of all the prey. The rivers fill with water, becoming a safe place for hippos and crocodiles that do well in these conditions. As autumn comes, the sun starts to get lower and the grass turns golden. The rain lessens and the ground starts to dry out, making animals look for new food and water sources. Herds of wildebeest and antelope start their yearly journeys, following old paths carved into the land. These migrations are vital for survival, as they let animals reach richer areas when food changes. Elephants, with their group smarts, lead their young across the plains looking for water. Ponds shrink, and the fight for resources gets tougher, showing how important social bonds and working together are for the herd. In the forests, monkeys carry their babies through the branches, and shy antelope move carefully through spots of light and shadow, using their natural camouflage to avoid predators. When winter arrives, cold winds blow across the highveld and morning fog covers the plains. Temperatures drop and nights become long and harsh. The grass freezes in the morning, and animals have to slow down to save energy. Some creatures go into a deep sleep or become less active, while others rely on thick fur or huddling together to deal with the cold. At this time, predators like lions and leopards have more chances as their prey become weaker and less alert. These animals adapt to the cold by hunting at dawn and dusk, using the darkness and fog to their advantage. Water birds gather in large groups, puffing up their feathers to keep warm, while reptiles go into a deep sleep underground, saving their energy until it gets warm again. Every creature finds its own way to deal with the harsh winter. With the first raindrops in spring, the land wakes up from its sleep. The dry ground cracks and hidden seeds start to grow, signaling the start of a new life cycle. Wildflowers bloom in bright colors, attracting butterflies and bees, and the cycle of pollination begins again. This burst of color draws many creatures that depend on nectar and pollen. Frogs fill the nights with their sounds, announcing mating season. Their calls attract partners and mark their territories, helping life continue in the ponds and swamps. On the savannah, mating rituals begin among antelope and other animals. Males race and show off their strength to attract females. These rituals make sure species continue and have different genes. Life is everywhere, from the tiny heartbeats underground to the busy activity above. Every creature helps balance the ecosystem, from the smallest insects to the biggest mammals. Migratory birds return from their long journeys, guided by the stars and the smells of the earth, bringing balance back to the food chain and filling the sky with life again. Tortoises come out of their burrows after a long sleep, and eggs hatch in the warm sun, announcing the start of a new generation of life in the wild. So time turns in the wild, and seasons follow one after another. Each season reshapes life anew. Seasonal changes make creatures adapt all the time, creating a complex web of connections between species. Each cycle holds stories of strength and bounce back. Migrations, births, and weather changes all weave together into one complete picture, keeping the ecosystem balanced. In this living picture, the dance of survival continues. Guided by nature's old rules, the wild remains a witness to the greatness of adaptation and new beginnings through time. Under the open sky, the heart of wild South Africa beats to the rhythm of water. From winding rivers that cut through huge valleys to sparkling lakes nestled between mountains and wide wetlands that breathe with the seasons, these are the veins and lungs of the wild. Here, water is life. In the shady depths of the southern Okavango Delta, papyrus plants sway, their roots weaving complex underwater forests. Small fish dart in schools, making silver ribbons among the stems, while frogs cling to floating water lilies, their throats throbbing in a chorus as dusk arrives. Crocodiles glide just under the surface, ancient and patient, waiting in the cool stillness. Along the banks, hippos appear at dusk, their huge shapes sending ripples across the glassy surface. Otters glide through the water like shadows, playing among the reeds, while freshwater turtles sunbathe on warm rocks, unhurried and watchful. Every pond is a tiny world, home to dragonflies that dance above the water, and the secret African clawless otter, whose silent hunts leave only a swirl in the mud. The wetlands are alive with hidden life. Here, water birds gather in amazing flocks. Flamingos color the shallow waters pink, and herons stand guard, and kingfishers flash electric blue as they dive for prey. Below the surface, crabs and snails graze on algae, their quiet work supporting a delicate balance. Water lilies bloom in calm bays, their petals opening to the sun, providing shelter for amphibians and tiny insects. Rivers cut through the land, connecting distant mountains to the sea. Fish migrate with the currents, their journeys echoing the migrations of antelope across the plains. Water plants filter the water, and their roots hold the banks steady, stopping the land from washing away. Every drop, every ripple is part of a grand design, a network that feeds the grasslands, the forests, and the creatures that rely on them. This is a world untouched by human hands, a world where water shapes the fate of everyone who lives within its embrace. Here, rivers, lakes, and wetlands are not just places to live. They are the lifeblood of South Africa's wild kingdom, connecting every creature in a fabric woven by water and time. Under the tangled roots and sun-baked rocks of South Africa's wild heart, a quieter world moves, one rarely seen yet vital and ancient. Here, a mosaic of habitats shelters the secret lives of reptiles and amphibians, each perfectly tuned to a land of contrasts. In the dry Karoo Desert, the spiny armadillo-girdled lizard clings to crevices, its spiky tail curled tight for protection against predators and the hot winds. When danger looms, it rolls into a living fortress, waiting for the world to pass by. Eastward, the emerald forests echo with the soft, rhythmic calls of rain frogs. Hidden beneath fallen leaves, these small creatures dig moist tunnels, only emerging when twilight paints the land in cool shadows. Their chorus is a symphony of survival, each note a declaration of existence in a world of giants. On sun-drenched riverbanks, Nile crocodiles lie motionless, ancient guardians whose patience is their greatest weapon. Nearby, graceful Nile monitor lizards glide through the reeds, their forked tongues tasting the secrets the wind carries. In the quiet of fleeting puddles, a miracle unfolds. Thousands of African clawed froglets emerge at once, racing against the drying mud. Their journey is risky, every day a competition of speed and stealth. High in the Drakensberg, chameleons move with ghostly precision, their colour-changing skin making them invisible among mossy branches. Their eyes spin independently, searching for prey and danger in a world where stillness is survival. As night falls, geckos awaken, their delicate feet clinging to bark and stone. Silent hunters, they roam for insects, their bodies lit by the moon's silver touch. Every scale and smooth skin tells a tale of adaptation, of creatures shaped by drought and flood, by scorching sun and sudden downpours. Some lie dormant for months, waiting for the blessing of rain to bring them back to life. Others bask in the harsh heat, drawing strength from the very earth. Their world is one of patience and resilience, of cunning and camouflage. Though rarely seen, these scaled and slimy creatures are the pulse beneath the surface, maintaining the balance of the wild kingdom. One silent song, one glint of scales at a time. Underneath South Africa's sun-baked crust and tangled roots, another world thrives, a world hidden in the dark, shaped by silent builders. Here, the earth isn't just a barrier but a canvas for a complex network of tunnels, rooms and pathways made by animals that dig. In the soft sands of the Kalahari Desert, groups of meerkats work together like one big team. Their claws are quick and purposeful, digging a maze of tunnels that offer safety from predators and the harsh midday heat. Inside these sandy paths, new generations are raised and guards stand watch, and every twist and turn shows how well they work together. Elsewhere, the mysterious golden mole slides under the soil, almost never showing itself above ground. Blind, but perfectly in tune with vibrations, it swims through the sand looking for insects, loosening the soil as it moves. Its journey leaves unseen trails, paths that help water go deeper, feeding the roots above. In the damp riverbanks, the African mole rat builds huge underground cities. Each tunnel is like a lifeline, connecting food storage areas, nurseries and shared sleeping spots. Their social system is strict, with one queen leading a busy community, much like how ant colonies are set up. Even animals that live alone, like the aardvark, change the earth in big ways. As they dig for termites and ants, they leave behind empty burrows, ready shelters for warthogs, porcupines and owls. In their wake, they create small living spaces that support countless other kinds of animals. This hidden world is super important for the surface above. Digging animals loosen and enrich the soil, and their tunnels guide rainwater deep into the ground, stopping erosion. They are silent engineers, supporting the web of life in ways we don't often see. Down here, away from the light, life is a constant dance of adapting and relying on each other, a reminder that some of the most important stories happen where eyes rarely go. In the quiet dark, the real work of the wild continues, shaping the future of the land above. As dawn breaks, the wild places of South Africa awaken to a gentle buzz, a dance of wings, a hum of purpose. Here, among the blooming flowers and the dancing forest lights, unsung heroes begin their work. Bees, butterflies and birds, each a master pollinator, move from flower to flower, weaving invisible threads that tie the ecosystem together. A honeybee dusted with golden pollen lands precisely on a wild cactus. Its journey is tireless, guided by ultraviolet patterns only it can see, a secret map etched onto the petals by evolution. With each visit it unknowingly carries life between the blossoms, ensuring the next generation of plants takes root. Nearby, a group of butterflies drifts on the breeze, delicate, fleeting, yet crucial. Their thin tongues unroll to sip nectar, and as they flit between flowers, they too transfer pollen, often reaching plants others cannot. Each species has its favourite flowers. Together they paint the landscape with variety. Above, sunbirds arrive, iridescent flashes of emerald and crimson hovering to drink from tubular flowers. Their brush-like tongues gather pollen, dusting their faces with it with every sip. In their quest for sweetness, these feathered acrobats connect distant plants, expanding the reach of the floral world. Pollinators are more than just visitors. They are the silent engineers of abundance. Their efforts shape forests, grasslands, and crops, ensuring fruits ripen, seeds form, and life cycles continue. Without them, blossoms would fade unfulfilled and the wild's bounty would wither, yet their world is a tapestry of complex behaviors, bees performing dances to guide their kin, butterflies navigating vast distances guided by sun and scent, and birds defending floral territories with song. Every movement is purposeful, every interaction a note in nature's grand symphony. As the day recedes and the pollinators retreat, the landscape bears their imprint, petals closing around pollinated seeds, fruits swelling with promise. In their quiet work, these guardians ensure the bloom and fruit of South Africa's wild heart, one flower, one journey, one season at a time. As the sun comes up, and with all the life and death happening in the wild lands of South Africa, another group of creatures quietly shows up. These are the clean-up crew, often misunderstood and talked about in a bad way, but they are super important for the Earth's health. On the open plains there's a creature moving fast and with a purpose. The spotted hyena, with its strong jaw and sharp senses looking for chances, gets to the remains of a recent hunt. With a crunch and a bite, it eats what the predators left behind. Bones, skin, and tough bits. Nothing goes to waste. Its family will eat, and they will put nutrients back into the ecosystem, stop diseases from spreading, and make sure that death feeds new life. Above, the sky gets darker with the shapes of vultures. They circle patiently, then come down in a flutter of wings. With their hooked beaks and bald heads made for their tough job, these birds strip carcasses to the bone in minutes. Their stomachs, which have stronger acid than battery acid, get rid of deadly germs, working as a natural defense against sickness. But the clean-up team goes even further. Underneath the carcass, an army of insects, beetles, ants, and flies start their work. Dung beetles roll valuable balls away, putting nutrients back into the soil. Larvae break down what's left, speeding up the decay and returning everything to the earth. Together, these scavengers form a living clean-up system. They keep the land healthy, the air clean from rot, and the cycle keeps going. Without them, diseases would spread, landscapes would be choked with what's left, and the balance would be off. In their non-stop, sometimes tough work, South Africa's scavengers show that every life and every death is part of a bigger harmony. They are silent guardians, making sure nothing is wasted, and that the wild heart of the continent keeps beating. In the heart of South Africa, where the sun is scorching and rain is a distant memory and the horizon shimmers with heat, a different kind of wild drama unfolds. Here, in the deserts and dry lands, life is in a daily fight against thirst, and only the most clever survive. Meet the gemsbok, an antelope shaped by the desert itself. Its light fur reflects the harsh sun's rays, while its special nose cools the air it breathes, saving precious water with every breath, and by eating at cool dawn and dusk it avoids the worst of the midday heat. Beneath the sand, the shovel-snouted lizard dances on its tiptoes, lifting its feet in a hurried, thermal dance to avoid burning. When the heat gets too much, it digs deep, escaping to the cool haven below. The mighty Kalahari lion, with its light mane, moves at night, ruling when the air is thick with darkness and the world cools down. Its prey also learned the rhythm of survival. Spring hares leap across moonlit dunes, and bat-eared foxes listen for the tiniest rustle beneath the sand. Water is treasure, and every drop matters. The fog-basking beetle climbs to the top of the dunes, raising its body to collect the morning mist, letting the droplets run down its back and into its mouth. Plants are also masters of toughness. The poplar tree stores moisture in its juicy leaves and reflects sunlight with its powdery bark, while its roots go deep, reaching hidden veins below. In this harsh, unforgiving land, every change is a win for cleverness. Life here isn't just about surviving, it's about doing well against all odds. From the smallest beetle to the shadow of a lion, every living thing is proof of strength, and its unique features are woven into the fabric of the desert. In the dry lands of South Africa, the fight never stops, but neither does the will to live. Here, against the silence of the sands, life goes on, quietly challenging, always adapting to the edge of thirst. Under the huge skies and across the wide-open grasslands of South Africa, there's a hidden web that connects every living thing. Here, without human footprints, nature's grand design shines through. A world where every creature, big or small, plays an important part. The lion's hidden hunt sends ripples through the grasslands, shaping the movements of the antelope and guiding the watchful gaze of the meerkat guard. And when the hunt is over, the clean-up crew arrives. Hyenas, jackals and vultures, making sure nothing goes to waste. Even the soil underneath gets fed, as beetles and tiny microbes break down what's left, putting life-giving nutrients back into the earth. In the wetlands, the dance keeps going. Frogs munch on insects while egrets chase fish in the shallow water. Small fish zip through the reeds, eating algae and becoming food themselves for otters and kingfishers. The dragonfly, with its wings shining in the sun, starts its life as a larva underwater, eating and being eaten, before it comes out to fly in the air and feed the birds. Animals helping each other out is everywhere. The oxpecker bird rides on the buffalo's back, picking ticks from its skin, a meal for one and relief for the other. Tiny fungi and bacteria weave through the roots beneath the savannah, helping trees pull water and food from the soil, while the trees give shelter and food in return. The cycles continue through the seasons. Rains bring new growth, drawing herds across the plains. Predators follow, and with every birth and every death the balance is kept. Even the old baobab tree, standing guard for hundreds of years, shares its gifts. Fruit for monkeys, shelter for birds, and nectar for bats. No life here stands alone. Every wing flap, every paw print, every leaf and root is part of a living web, an endless and complex cycle of giving and taking, hunter and hunted, host and guest. In this wild world, staying alive isn't just one animal's job, but a shared effort, all tied together by nature's timeless rules. This is the true heart of the South African wilderness, a symphony of connections where the fate of one is linked to the fate of all.